All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Black O Math, it's your boy C.I.P. Thank you for stopping by Culture Invasion Podcast. Not running solo this evening. It is another night of your boy with another heavy hitter. That's right. All my hoes Demonetized. Some know him as JP. Will be stopping by, providing his feedback. Tonight's topic, sins of the father. Men, what are we doing these days, gents? What does the future look like? And maybe some tips, some guidance. Your boy's got a lot to offer. JP's got a lot to offer. Already in the crowd, we got Messy Michonne live and 18. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us tonight. Got a bit of a montage, as always, for y'all. Probably a little bit of both, Messy. As always, it's a Black Ho Math. So we're going to be looking at all things Ho, which means all things men and women. Black Ho Math is taken from the YouTube channel Ho Math, which I do believe he'll be changing his name a little bit and evolving his channel. So we may do the same over here. But as always, we got a montage for y'all. Let's get to the show. It's going to be a long one tonight. Pause. Enjoy the montage, y'all.
The way I view EBT and stuff like that, EBT has been more prevalent in our Black lives than our fathers. The government, you did this. You got us addicted to EBT. For my past 40 years of living, the government food stamps never missed a beat.
Averaging a peak. Would you pull up in this when the killing will begin? You feel me pulling up your skin? I really came to get in and deliver murder grams.
For some reason, men think saying, text me when you get home safe, makes them a good guy. No, a good guy texts me to make sure that I got home safe. Telling me to text you is about your comfort. You don't want to do the work, so you put the work on me. A real nice guy takes the weight off of me and actually checks in, does the work. If you cared about my safety, I feel like a man would show it with action, not just a line that he says to every girl. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What do you want that man to do? Text you every 5 minutes until he successfully guesses when you're home? And the next thing we see is a woman complaining about all of the times that a man texted her, double text her, triple text her, and she'll even show the screenshots of him asking, are you home yet? Are you home yet? Are you home yet? Ladies, sometimes you just gotta chalk it up to your overthinking brain, and it's getting in the way. You really don't need to try to change a man's behavior on this topic. Trust me.
I know I can't be the only one. I just feel like women might not be for me.
Let me just say that the dating of lesbians, okay, is fucking trash, okay? It is absolutely fucking trash.
I can't be the only lesbian, stud, whatever you want to call it, that is actually getting tired of dealing with women.
Oh, well. Well.
Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if she gives you a good slap back?
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know. But seriously, I think that it's the last resort. He's not going to do it because he wants to do it. Huh?
Wait till people see this interview. Are you going to get mail?
Might get some female.
What's your type?
I have a girlfriend.
So what's your type then?
My girlfriend.
And what does she look like?
She looks like my girlfriend.
So what would you rate me out of 10?
I can't do that.
Can't rate me at all?
I can't reach you at all.
What would you rate your girlfriend out of 10?
She broke my scale because she's so beautiful.
You got trouble, honey?
I can't get it started.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, there's water in the cook stiddle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look.
Help! Help! You son of a bitch!
Get lost, baby!
You bastard! No!
Let go, you idiot!
You dirty, rotten son of a bitch!
Get the hell out of here!
You say I want a man that make $100,000. You eliminated 85% of all men. 85%, that leaves you 15%. Half of that 15% is married. 7.5%. Half of them gay. Or live an alternative lifestyle. Take that down to 3.5%, 4% that you got to choose from. Then you want him over 6 feet. 2%. He can't be obese. 1%. You don't like Sagittarius, Leos, or Cancer. Well, now you at 0.5% of a man that you gotta look for. You gotta find him, and then he gotta like you back. That type of man that makes that type of money has requirements for a woman too that now you have to meet. This is why so many women are struggling that make money when they step out here into the dating.
Do that so they can see your face. Name, age, why broke your heart.
Eugene, 40 years of age. I popped my balloon, honestly, because you got on way too much makeup for me.
Ooh.
Way too much. I like natural. Would love to see what you look like without all of the up in here. You got a whole lot. It's like another color and everything.
No, have a good friend. No, have a good friend.
Sucker fed salutations and salute, y'all. It's your boy C.I.P. Welcome to the show. How y'all doing this evening? It's Black Hole Math. We back. And we got the audio musings of Jay in the background as always. So I'm not going to waste any time this evening. We getting right into it. JB, let's go.
Brother.
What's good?
Blessings,
Good.
blessings, man. It's so good to be back. You know what I'm saying? Dynamic duo of nerds, man. Finna break this down tonight. Let's get it.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna turn the tunes down a little bit. All right. Let's get it. So, yeah, man. So tonight we are addressing men. It's a tough topic because guys don't like to hear shit from other men. They don't like to get their back kicked in. They don't like, and on occasion, we don't like to be receptive. But in this day and age, I think we found a sweet spot. I think it's time. I think there's enough pain amongst all this privilege that we have that our brothers of all colors, right? All colors, more than any ones that look like us, but of all colors are feeling the pinch of society, feeling the pinches of societal change, global change, and they are looking for answers. So your boy CIP is bringing y'all here today to hang out with me and JP. We're going to talk about men. We're going to talk about sins of the father, right? Thumbnail, Kratos. It can be debated that Kratos was a good dad, right? When I look at the adventures that I've been on, right? Adventure time is also going to be a theme here going forward. Growth, development. I was rattling around in my little CIP brain. What do we have who do we have these days as our positive role models, right? If you're not already spiritually aligned and you have spiritual guidance and something that you adhere to, which is faltering here in the Western world, spirituality is not celebrated. But if you are involved, you have a guide, right? You have a sail that is steering you through these waters. If you don't have an interactive father, right? When we always have considerations over here, we understand those that are in positions of atrocity or extreme poverty or war-torn countries, and the men that are lost there. Prayers to them, you know, their struggle is different. First world here, first world, Western world, our men, right?
Right.
Who guides us on the self-love path, the self-grooming path? Who guides us on the fitness and health path? You know, rest in peace to my dear friend who passed away this year of his own health neglect to a degree. You know, there could be some medical genocide in there, but at the same time, that's not why we're here. We're
I'm
here
about to say, don't let's not leave it off onto that. So
let's stay on the focus path of getting to your regular checkups, gentlemen, right? Learning to be a trustworthy and meritorious individual, moving with intention as a man, and not just in the cliche ways that we use these terms as they relate to just being a hoe, the relationship stuff, right? Shout out to us over here. Black Hole Man. Don't forget, y'all, like and subscribe, please, please, please. Death Reaper, I see you, bro. I see you snuck in there. What's good, bro? Good to see you this evening. We got Messy
Shouts
out
out to
there
Reaper.
as always. Sis, it's great to see you. A-Team. Since we got the two ladies in the house, let's get some riz for them. Got a little ooh la la ah wee wee for the ladies.
Yeah.
All right. But yes. Those pieces, those key pieces of what make us a more well-rounded man and lead to only great things and successful things. Those pieces, right, that polish and refine who we are. Who do we have in our lives as the average guy to teach us those little things? So JP, we're gonna look at where we are as men, like I mentioned in the intro. We're gonna look at our journey, what we confront, what it's like, what society and our friends, how they view us grow. Me and you are gonna spiral as always, but we're gonna round out with some global perspective. We're gonna look at what it looks like for a man who may be of a higher value and have a little bit more going for himself, and may be lost even in that realm of his personal life and personal evolution. So
could I
that's what I
pose the
got,
question?
bro. What's that?
I can pose the question.
Yeah.
Where are men's standards at this point within society? I mean, for me personally, as someone that had a father up until last year.
Yes.
And I had a lot of lessons and influences that he sparked into my life and guided me to be the man that I am today.
Yes.
But I also had a mentor as well. And a lot of us do not have that outlet or resource in order to be the wind in the sail that you just discussed. You know, it's important to be able to have someone that is not only solid and reminds you of what standard that you need to adhere to,
right,
but someone that you look up to and gives you that outlook of, I aspire to be this way. And that is important with the camaraderie of how we are as males to continue on a standard that should be set amongst all of us worldwide to adhere to. So I'll let you segue with that, but that's just pretty much what I know has to be the catalyst of where we need to be as men.
Agreed. Give me 1 second here. I'm just making sure. Yeah, I was making sure some other things weren't ticked on my settings.
Absolutely. Don't mess
Yeah,
that
and the
up.
gutter says Death Reaper from Society View. So let's let's take the gutter. Let's start with the gutter. Let's look at the way not to be as men. I found this most personally rattling, that men exist in this state. And we'll get to the video here in just a minute, but I was a little bit rattled that men exist in this state, first of all. Secondly, that this man was serious and this wasn't some sort of play on what's going on with the welfare, with the SNAP benefits. But, and then thirdly, just the egregious diabolical nature of this gentleman altogether. And I think his association with other well-known content creators that are out there makes me question a lot about men that look like us. A lot.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. No pause. Let's go.
3 kids. Cutting off my Section 8 is like cutting off my air supply. How am I going to breathe and make these and help have these kids breathing as well? I mean, Donald Trump is playing with fire that he don't need to be playing with, and he gonna mess around and get burnt. You know, I don't agree with you cutting off our Section 8. You know, the way I view EBT and stuff like that, EBT has been more prevalent in our black lives than our fathers, right?
All right, I'm gonna pause there for a second. More prevalent in our lives than our fathers. What?
That's not my experience.
That has never been my experience.
Yeah.
Christine,
So
hey sis.
this is the level of psychology that we know in our society is secularism, secularism, where his experience has to be what the world knows. And it's sad to see failure be prevalent in this man's existence. Just
Absolutely.
to know that he accepts handouts instead of doing the most tribal basic thing as a male, and that's to provide and to produce, is sickening.
Yeah.
To get on a camera and with a phone and to go viral based on the fact that you're declaring being a loser, it's diabolical enough.
that part right there. That part right there. Like he's literally going live, front face camera crying.
It's sad.
Yeah,
What are we
that's
doing?
same. Not my experience. You know, my father was to be debated. You know, he had good qualities, but after, you know, he and my mom split, he split. You know, there's so but he had good qualities, and I did have for my formative years, and that was what a lot of men don't have. But I had up until I was about 13, 14, a very steady interaction with either he or my uncle or my grandfather. So I had men around that I had good images of.
You know, every man that I saw that was successful in life always gave me one thing to be at the forefront of what I did with everything. And that was the principle of you are not allowed to not have success. You can't fuck up.
Right.
The failure is not the answer. It is plain and simple. You have to do what is necessary to get your ass up and go do it. Produce, because no one is going to feel sorry for you or nor they care about your plight for hearing wham. That's not the way that this works.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Marshawn Lynch.
The government, you did this. You got us addicted to EBT. You made the EBT and food stamps more made us more dependent on them more than our fathers, right?
We made them dependent on this system.
Right.
The government replaced our fathers with EBT. So how are you going to take that away from us?
Now, mind you, the government replaced the government replaced our fathers with EBT. He's a deadbeat father. So he himself is replaced by EBT, utilizing it for his children. There's the logic.
Right. It's no level of production whatsoever. It's just
No.
give me handout.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
You are no different from the deadbeat baby daddies, right? You are no different from the black men that you remove from our homes. Now first off, you remove our fathers, right? And you became our fathers. Now you gonna dip. So now you leaving us with nobody, right? Now you trying to leave us with nobody.
Is he crying? It sounds
like.
like.
Hey, Danielle, I'm mad that Donald Trump is cutting off my air supply. I mean, my food stamps.
You know what? Pause this. Because I can literally get this dude out of this situation by giving him a direction of having 2 jobs, and within 2 to 3 months, he can be a whole changed man. But instead, he takes a route to cry on the internet instead of actually sitting and understanding that the opportunity to produce is going to get you out of having to utilize government daddy.
Thank you.
For EBT.
Thank you.
But this is where mentors are important and people that can be the strong sail for what he needs. But yeah, let's keep listening to Marshawn Lynch.
It's more of a not so much a question, but more of a statement, which is part of human nature, right? And it's kind of hard. It was a hard lesson for me for years, and home math helps us on this sometimes because there are people who just aren't mentally capable. Okay, they just aren't mentally capable, and they will always be lower level thinkers. There are others, and this is in the realm of mentorship. There are others that won't be ready to hear the messenger. So I found myself in that frustrated place of having an answer just like this.
You do realize when you just said that, now my thoughts go to the fact that one of my mentors that I had when I was a kid told me this: the Bible is nothing but a huge allegory of stories of people that chose to go the wrong way and how they can be able to correct their behavior.
Thank you.
Low-level thinkers, man, being rescued by
It is your
principles.
reference book. It is your guidebook. Thank you, Reaper. And Reaper, you and Christine have been dropping some gems in the chat. Thank y'all so much for your participation out here.
Shouts out to Reaper and Christine.
Yep. Shouts out to y'all. Appreciate y'all out here.
Yep. He has no tool to better himself but handout.
Absolutely.
Give me more.
Give me more.
Not to get mad because I'm thinking that if I come there, if I check my phone on the 5th and my food stamps is not on my bill, I'm going on a stealing spree.
Yes, Christine, he's raising his kids. He walks back in the apartment. You'll see here shortly, and he tells them to go to bed. He's not in a good mood. So you see what kind of quality of raising he's providing. Rearing.
And
he outside in the hallway smoking a cigarette now.
The same amount of my food stamp being police food.
The audio is on his side, not on my side. It comes back here in a second.
Well, how come you stole $975 worth of food? Because that was $975 I was getting in food stamps. Donald Trump, what's up? Like, this is not no bullshit, right? It's not no bullshit. You removed our fathers. and you became our father. So now, since we've been dependent on you to take care of us like a father's supposed to, you gonna dip. You gonna act just like the black men that left us.
Wow.
We are victims of.
Wow.
We are victims of not having a father.
What the?
But he says it all right there. He's playing in the victimhood card, which is status quo for people that look like him and want to put the spider's makeup and weave on.
But what does that end up telling us as men? Where is that behavior being learned from?
Death Reaper, I bet he was raised fully by his mom.
You never know.
Or another
And only
feminized
reason
man, and it was, generational curse.
he could have had a stepdad that was a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been
That
around
too.
brothers and older people that were in and out of the pen that knew nothing.
Yep.
Uncles that wasn't shit. This could have led to a lot of things.
Yep. Yes, Messi. It's a 2-for-1. This is not just about food stamps, but this is about the loss of masculinity. There's nothing
Right.
masculine about this man, and at all whatsoever. And
Nope.
he may be associated with someone whose first name starts with Anton and last name starts with Daniels in some way, shape, or form. But I find that hard to believe. And if I was
Right.
associated with this man, I would definitely separate myself from him. I have a hard
Yeah.
time. I'm biased as fuck. I have a hard time dealing with people who don't have passports.
I think me and you are getting that way right now.
Yeah, you don't hold a passport and you haven't leveled up your life. I can't fuck with you, low key. So
No.
I'm really wondering. I'm really wondering who this man's associated is. Hey, content creators, this your man? It's
Yeah.
not a good look.
That's your guy.
So now who we got to blame? At least when our fathers weren't around, when our fathers did, at least we can say we had the government to run to. But now the government leaving us. Now who we gonna blame?
Bro, you can't even cry right. Get your finger off the damn mic.
The government is
Here.
playing with our lively supplies. This is some stuff that we are entitled to. I'm entitled to this. I don't understand.
I
Victimhood,
think this just
entitlement. He's using all the catchphrases, bro.
listen, that just told you everything we need to know about this. I'm entitled.
Yeah.
That should be the name of this video. Fucking, I'm entitled.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible.
What's wrong with Uncle Sam? But we're gonna fight back though.
Oh, here we go.
All us recipients, let's put our boots to the ground and we got to fight back. You cut off our food stamps, we're gonna go take that money. Then take exactly what you're supposed to get. If you get $291, go steal $291.
You're going to fucking
So
El
they gonna be like,
Salvador,
why
you
is
idiot. You're fucking going to El Salvador. Get the paddy wagon and get them.
Bro.
You'll never see your kids again.
They set themselves up for this.
Yeah, it's over. Just kill yourself
Rough-side,
right
what's
now.
good, bro? How you doing?
No, yep, he's out driving right now, man. Stay safe on that road, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, fuck, man. You're getting in the paddy wagon and you're going to El Salvador.
Shout out to our truck drivers. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Y'all are supporting us for real, for real.
Man,
this man.
Get in the fucking paddy wagon. Low life.
People stealing of the same amount that they receive on food share. Then they would get it. The motherfuckers was hungry. You trained us to depend on y'all when y'all said the best interest of the child was to be with our mothers. You did this. So you became our daddy, government.
Right. Food share. He called it a food share. That's my tax money, bro. That ain't no food share. They clipped that 25% off my fucking check, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? He said food share.
I'm old. How many people live with their parents at 30, 40?
Right. What is this?
The government used you. We trusted you to be our backbone. I'm trying to give y'all some leeway, okay? For my past 40 years of living, the government food stamps never missed a beat. It always showed up.
Every 40-year-old man that thinks like this should just wear a t-shirt that says wasted. Just, you're wasting your life. Just wear a t-shirt that says wasted. Because you're fuck.
Yeah.
This is atrocious. Wow.
Reaper. Absolutely, bro. And the whole thing, generational. You got to break the generational curses, but you're living as a man, literally, like your mama did. What are we doing? We can't, the first thing is, as men, we can't project this type of image. You're a bitch. You're just a bitch.
Total de-evolution.
No one will respect you, and white people will laugh at you. He goes on to say some egregious shit about, the past history of the niggers in America and what he's willing to submit himself to. So I think it's mental health. I think there's a lot of mental health with these people. Inbreeding, maybe. Maybe his mom and daddy, maybe that content creator earlier mentioned felt sorry for him because he knew he was a little bit tired. Dude got a Twitch and shit, so he felt sorry for him. Oh, you got to help the special ones.
I'm coming up with merch, and it's going to be hammers, and they're all going to say kneecap on there because he needs to be fucking hitting his kneecap with this stupid thinking to be beat for fucking hours, man. To be able to say you can
merch.
no longer do
running
kneecap merch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to beat the demon of dumbness out of this dude.
Yeah, bro.
There has to be an extra.
Very low mental
Right
quality.
on time. A way lot better than all of our daddies. Our daddy missed plenty months, birthdays and weekends. So I'm gonna give you this month. Come December, I better have at least my food stamps in half of the last month, or it's gonna be something. Or it's gonna be something.
Where'd you get the square?
I know a lot of people talking about, well, you need to go back to
$10 a pack. I don't know how much Newports are these days.
But you're not eating.
Hold on. I'll skip through this. Hold on. We got to keep going.
You go back to work.
Hold on. He goes back in his department.
I can't.
It's only 12 minutes. Let him cook. We know where we're at right now.
I cannot go to work.
We're going to let him cook.
I don't want to go to work.
Mike Love, I'm going to stop right here because we almost halfway through. This is egregious male behavior here, bro. What it do, Mike Love?
Shouts out to Mike Love.
Mike Love, one of the show producers over here on Culture Invasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are new, hit the like button, subscribe, like it, share it out to all your friends, all the usual YouTube and social stuff. Y'all know how it is. Yeah, Mike Love, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. We're talking about men this evening. We're starting with egregious modern behaviors of us men and our perspective on that, what the journey looks like, and then we're going to round it off with some advice from us and perhaps Nomad Capital. So we're going through the whole lifeline of where men need to just upgrade things a little bit in their lives. All right, let's run it. Get through this mess. D, how you doing, beautiful? It's good to see you. Get a ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la,
All right, sis. Good to see you. All right, let's go, y'all.
This is what the government for.
Damn.
I said go to bed. I am not in no good mood today.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean what happened? They trying to cut us off next month for food stamps. One thing I'm gonna beat up is that damn grocery store. They better have. I think the grocery store is gonna have locks on all the grocery stores because they know the majority of people come in there is 90% of people that come in there has food stamps. So what they gonna do? They know 90% of us gonna go to them grocery stores stealing. So they gonna come November, from November to about November 16th, they gonna have all the grocery stores locked. Because they know we own some bullshit. They know we didn't get our food stamps. So when they see all these people in their grocery stores, they don't have enough security to stop all of us from stealing their shit. They know we gonna be stealing. They know we gonna be stealing. They know this.
The target date is November 16th.
It's like January. It's gonna be an insurgency at the grocery store.
November 16th, bro. The uprising must happen. We must have our chips. We must have our groceries. Where my juice boxes, bitches? These kids hungry.
Even D said it. They throwing Go-Gurt down the aisles at each other. They throw Go-Gurt at the clerks.
Lunchables and shit.
Lunchables like Chinese stars.
They're going right to the fucking snack aisle. They're getting fucking chips, granola bars, man, fucking ding dongs, the little Debbie cakes. All the vegetables, the produce is going to be just packed still.
She said, well, a ghetto mama. Walmart is only doing online shopping.
I'm dead.
It's 404 errors on all the servers because can't nobody shop.
You know what I'm saying?
They got a whole class for the grandmas that can't use the internet.
Meals on Wheels for the grandmas for Walmart.
Walmart's holding classes for the grandmas at the church how to online shop. Oh, shit.
Thelma, you come get your groceries.
Welfare recipients, let's stand up. They can't take all us to jail. If we do all, and I'm talking about we gonna lose all the grocery stores.
Stop. Stop. Fucking stop.
Okay, it wouldn't pause.
This stupid son of a bitch just said they can't take all of us to jail. the fuck is your...
This is not a man. Gentlemen, this is not a man. Gentlemen.
He said, I can't. You did this to me, and we're only 38 minutes in.
We're only 30 minutes into the show, bro. We get constructive after. We get to use our brains after this, bro. We get to.
I don't know how much I have left.
I know. Okay, let's cook through it.
What the fuck is this?
Here, let's look at that look.
Oh man, abort stream.
We're done with this dude, but let's get forward here. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Crackers with noodles.
Oh god.
And this is just my pile.
He got his own pile.
Donald Trump, you fuck with my fucking food stamps if you want to. Quit playing with me. Shit, I love my EBT. You done got us spoiled on this shit. Now you talking about taking our food stamps away? That's mine. Are you cool? Are you cool? I still eat my crackers with jelly on it. peanut butter, and cheese. These crackers give you 3 meals. Are you cool? Look how many eggs I got. Trump, are you cool? Look at this shit, egg.
Now look, D, you said veggies would be fully stocked. At the grocery store, not in that man's fridge. Now I got a question. To the folks that are out there in the chat, JP, you chime in too. Whole onions in the refrigerator. I'm about to punch my monitor personally. You guys chime in the chat. Who puts whole unchopped onions in the fridge? Chime in. That is not something you do. It grows bacteria quicker. All right. I'm gonna leave that alone, but I'll let y'all discuss that. John Schmuck was good. CFG. How you doing, bro?
You damn smuck.
John said, no. A-team, nope.
Here's the worst part, right? We're so dumb as American people that we're the only country that puts eggs in the refrigerator because of what they do to wash them. Nothing is of nutritional value in this man's house. It's all chemically fucked with.
Absolutely.
The chips, the cookies, the crackers, all processed. Absolutely. The eggs, processed, washed, growing bacteria in there, and he's proud of having a bunch of eggs. By the time he cooks them, he's going to be sick as his shit, dog.
Yep.
And wondering why he shits 20 minutes after he made a fucking breakfast burrito.
Right.
God, what a fucking loser.
Absolutely, bro. I think we're done. I'm done cooking the dude. Yeah, they don't buy veggies. You're absolutely right, sis. At all. No, they don't. Not
He's
at
going to
all.
scream out about a bell pepper just to be able to saute it, and that's it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 3 kids. Give me 1 second. Let's clean up this stream. Let's get rid of this rubbish. Get rid of that stewage.
Fucking hilarious though.
Oh fuck. Gentlemen.
Shouts out to Glocktavius.
Good God. Glocktavius. Shout out. And to Glocktavius' mother for raising such a stellar individual. God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. He better make tuna. He got enough eggs. Yo, D, sis, let me ask you a question. Now, I put eggs in my tuna fish sandwiches. I put some relish in there, some fresh minced garlic, put a little seasoning. Got to put your soul on it. Somebody looked at me and was like, "That's not tuna fish salad. That's an egg salad sandwich."
Where the hell did they grow up?
Please contribute in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who's made tuna fish salad before, salad sandwiches, please help us.
Okay, sir.
Educate these poor
I'm
people.
going to ask, what shade was this person that you had this conversation with?
They was chocolate.
Because this matters.
They were colored. They was our color. One of our colors. They was melanated. They were melanated.
Where the hell were they from?
Ohio. Uncultured ass Ohio. They from the north. There we go. Uncultured ass Ohio has ruined culture, y'all. That's why I'm here to learn some shit. All right, JP, what else we gonna learn? We're gonna learn what the difference is, gentlemen. A little bit about attractiveness, a little bit about who you are as a character. This one from our benefactor, Mr. HoMath, right? Hey, Mr. HoMath is why we started this. I need y'all to go subscribe to him if you haven't. I do highly, highly suggest it. He's the one with the bigger brain than I. He's the one I'm borrowing this content from. I've bought a couple of things from him, and I continue to subscribe to his products. I might buy a t-shirt or a sweatshirt one day. Who knows? But
yeah, you gotta support the merch, man.
You gotta support the man, right? But Mr. HoMath provides us with a mathematician and a social genius. His perspective on dating relationships, men and women, mostly women though, because he's a guy and we like to talk about the girls. But all the good things that we should dive into and look at in ourselves. So I've borrowed from our brother, Mr. Homath, and we now have the melanated version, Black Homath. So like, subscribe, y'all, if you're new. Yes, Homath is the truth. Tell that, Reaper. So we're going to watch Batman to Democrat. Batman to Democrat. Let's explore. We're going to learn something today about ourselves, gents.
I just wanted to come on here and put in my little 2 cents about...
And just to let you know, we're doing things a little bit out of order today. Usually you would keep the Homath for the end because it's the premier piece. But today we're going to start with the Homath because we're going to evolve from this, what he's talking about here. Let's go.
I've never been attracted to my husband or whatever that post was. I didn't even have to watch the whole video to understand this.
I don't have to watch it either. I know what Sarah's saying. She's saying that there was some buzz around a video with a woman who said that she wasn't attracted to her husband at first, but over time she became attracted to him. And a lot of guys did not like hearing that because they just want to be this guy. They want women to be attracted right away. They don't want to have to earn their way out of here. And yeah, we all want to be this guy, but 80% of us won't be, maybe 90.
Catch the replay, John. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, John, catch the replay, buddy. Just come right back. Pick up where you left off. I'll see you soon.
This guy, but 80% of us won't be, maybe.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. The not people. Pay attention, gentlemen. In the dating world, it's a real thing. You know, you'll get to play around a little bit, but there are a lot of women that'll just overlook you because they're thinking other directions of what they want, their delusion or their fantasy. So yeah, there is a cognitive block that some will apply to the dating sphere. All right, let's go.
We all want to be this guy, but
right.
80% of us won't be, maybe 90. So first of all, this is something that I teach. It's in all of my charts. I updated my charts, by the way. You can get them here. This one shows women who don't know men going for the top ones, and then women who do being much more fair. I show this again right here. If they don't know you, they're very picky. They only like these guys. If they do know you, they're normal. Here it is a third time. This is me moving out of the not people zone and then back into it because I got old. It's kind of crazy how much familiarity changes things. Women who know me from Homath will say they're in love with me without seeing my face, and then I go out and it's just...
So momentum stocks are selling
whoa.
off.
I'm here and put in my little 2 cents.
Go out and it's just... And these guys who get upset that they're not in here right away, they're making a mistake. What they think that woman is saying is, my husband is not attractive, but he does stuff for me, so I pretend to like him. What she's really saying is, my husband might not have stunned me at first,
right,
but when he did this stuff, he moved up this scale. Sarah's going to help me explain. This is Sarah Eaton, by the way. She's like working class pearly things. She's on TikTok. So again, Sarah's talking about a video where a woman said, my husband may not have had the looks, but he did have the masculinity enough to probably get about here. So when he lost the masculinity, I lost attraction. And what the guys in Sarah's audience heard was, I never liked my husband. I was using him.
I'm going to explain it from a woman's perspective, and I wish I could have Homath make me a little freaking diagram.
Wish granted. Sorry it took like 8 months. I've been busy. This
dude is out of control. Gosh, what's good? You gotta love him. You gotta love him. And I bet you, Batman to Democrat is gonna be a whole fucking diagram. He's gonna keep this because this is too good. This is too good.
Yes, it is.
All right. And I love that she called on Homath to make the diagram. When content creators do that shit, y'all, I'm telling you, hey, if you are a content creator and you come over here to the channel, oh, D, hold on. Are you modded up? Oh, D, I'm sorry. Hold on. If you're a content creator and you come over here to my channel, I will mod you up. All right. And it's to make sure that we network over here. We get to know one another. You get to know other content creators. People get to subscribe to you, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead and hit exclamation point invasion, and it'll drop your link. Nightbot will work with you and drop your link automatically, D. Yeah, it's all about the networking. This shit's awesome. That's why me and JP here together tonight, y'all. Let's go.
That's right.
Perspective, and I wish I could have HoMath make me a little freaking diagram.
Wish granted. Sorry it took like 8 months. I've been busy. This is the Batman to Democrat scale. It expands on zones by showing how a woman judges your physical attractiveness and then adds points for how much you are like Batman and subtracts points for how much you are a Democrat. For example, if you are a hockey player, a chef good at chess, those are Batman points. And if you have a lot of temper tantrums or anime dolls, or if you're sorry for existing, those are Democrat points. So this girl thinks that this guy is about a 6.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty straightforward. Look at he went from jock to pure mental finesse. And then on the other side of it, too much of a childlike characteristics.
Right.
Physically, but he's also 70% like Batman, which makes him an 8.8 to her. In other words, being a man is attractive, which all men have known everywhere for all time until 1963. And
1963, very reminiscent of 2025.
Absolutely.
Okay, you picking up what we're putting down, gents? Young bulls. We gotta course correct.
Totally course correct.
Mm-hmm.
And even these guys are still being more of a man than most of you and me until I was almost 30. There were a lot of ups and downs, but this upward trajectory is all about me taking responsibility for who I am, which is what you have to do instead of just complaining that women don't think you're pretty.
Again, gentlemen, I'm going to rewind that back.
And then most of you and me until I was almost 30. There were a lot of ups and downs, but this upward trajectory is all.
You see the ups and downs he talks about, gents? Life is not instant or easy. We do not exist in an instant gratification world. It may seem that way because of how privileged you are, like old black dude from the beginning that we reacted to at first. But if you bitch and complain about this journey, you're acting like him. It's not easy. Not at all.
All about me taking responsibility for who I am, which is what you have to do instead of just complaining that women don't think you're pretty. It's easier to take responsibility for yourself if you can watch what your mind does. I made the self-max map simpler so you can do that without all these words in the way. Another way to watch what your mind does is reading about...
Okay, did you see the shade he just threw, though?
He's haymakering right now.
He is fucking haymakering everybody all the way down to his scale of mental fortitude. He literally drew fucking pictures and shapes for the dumbasses so they can improve their lives. The individuals who are a little bit less mentally adept.
He put colors in there.
Colors, big bright colors.
Yeah, he put colors in there.
Right. Another point to prove is that where he has this 23 at the bottom down here, the arrow pointing up, and he said self-maximize, he realized he was fucking up. He realized he was a shit burger and improved his social standing as a man. Yeah, exactly, Reaper. Made it easy for them to follow.
Almost 30. There were a lot of ups and downs, but this upward trajectory is all about me taking responsibility for who I am, which is what you have to do instead of just complaining that women don't think you're pretty. It's easier to take responsibility for yourself if you can watch what your mind does. I made the self-max map simpler so you can do that without all these words in the way. Another way to watch what your mind does is reading about psychology, and short form is a great way to do that. You can...
Okay, my brother, I love you. I will definitely promo your channel as I did in the chat, but we're going to skip your ad read. Sorry.
I'm here and put in my little 2 cents about status. have nothing to offer, but you are.
Hold on. Let's hear a little more.
Keep that in mind. If you are down here, way at the bottom, you are not attractive, you have nothing to offer, but you are a nice guy, you can eventually move your way up to that medium ugly status. And
by nice, Sarah means strong. She's smart, but she's still a woman, so she calls this stuff nice. Wrong word, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And for all of the men that are about to cry in the comments like, oh, that's not true, then you haven't met the right woman, period.
Again, that's a female way of saying it. The more you become competent and confident, the more women are the right woman.
Yes.
And most of the men are not going to listen to this post. They're not going to agree with me, and that's fine. But I'm telling you how it works in a woman's mind. We can initially see you and not find you attractive, but over time, we can absolutely get to know you and know you on a deeper level and eventually like you, find you attractive, and even fall in love with you.
I think it's sad that Sarah even has to say this because this used to just be the way things are. You used to just automatically get familiar with people and the familiarity would create attraction and then people would just pair off according to their level. We used to have a high trust society where people were not afraid of each other. So a guy could follow a girl home and go like, I'm gonna marry you one day, Sally Wilkinson. And she'd go, he seems nice. And you can't do that anymore. Attempting to become familiar is now creepy and it gets you fired or arrested. But now that...
And that's a hurdle that the young bucks got to deal with.
Yeah, you're a creep. You're a creep. Ew, get away from me. What are you doing?
You sure as hell can't just build a relationship with a woman because there's 50 other men. Because when you look at the right side here, you know, the liberated, they're chasing 8, 9s, and 10s. So while you're getting to know who she is, she's getting railed by the entire Cleveland Cavs team.
A lot of what's going on is it's people's inability to adapt
and socialize.
Yeah. If you're not able to, because this again goes into the dynamic of what I'm talking about with the male brain, it has to evolve into problem solving more than it has to be the ego of thinking that you're going to get this right based on what you believe. That doesn't work.
Right.
That never works.
Yep. She said her shades are a little off.
That nobody's familiar with each other. The women appear extremely picky, and I guess they are extremely picky because of the way things are. And then these guys think that they have to be up here or they're going to get nothing forever. And it's not true. You can just become familiar with people, and the best way to do that is by cultivating these traits.
In the Win with Zen sweepstakes.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Let's go.
In here and put in.
Hear one more thing from Sarah.
If you are already a man that is attractive and you are already up here as like a level 10 of attractiveness, you have to understand the moment that your habits and your behaviors are representative of someone that is dishonest, disingenuous, you go back down to the ick status, which is basically you don't come back from it.
Those are Democrat points. When you act like a bitch, it causes the ick. Let's do a few examples. So,
all right, gents, heads up. You act like a bitch, they don't like you. Believe me, your boy CIP's been there. Been there. Why didn't you call? Right? Why do you think I put that in the montage at the beginning? I was chasing the chick. Like, why ain't you call me when you got home? She ain't want to hear that. I gave her the ick. I'll turn into a Democrat. So let's go, gents. Let's see what to do.
Message.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Message.
There we go.
From it.
Those are Democrat points. When you act like a bitch, it causes the ick. Let's do a few examples. So the girl sees the guy and evaluates his looks physically. That's what the eye is for. And she thinks he's about a 6. And then she evaluates, is this guy more like Batman or more like a Democrat? And she decides that he is 70% Batman, which is an abnormal result. You're not going to get 70. I'm probably like 50% Batman and I'm famous. And then that makes the guy overall an 8.8 because that is 70% of the way from 6 210. So over here we have a 4 that's below average, but he's 80% Batman, so that comes out to 7.2, well above average. And here we have a 3, but he's 90% Batman. As you can see, that's even higher at 8.3. Don't forget, this guy slept with supermodels, and it was not because of his choice of tie. It was because of power. That's what the sword is for. It adds to your value. If, however, you are in the top...
He's fucking cooking.
He's cooking right there.
Power. That's what the sword is.
It's power
At
dynamics.
8.3. Don't forget.
Boom. This is who supermodels fuck. This is who supermodels fuck. Not your boy C.I.P.
It's all power dynamics, bro. I was waiting on him to nail it.
Not your boy C.I.P., but this is who supermodels fuck. This is your king. This is your king. This is who the Dubai princesses, the Dubai girls from other countries have sex with. Yep, Dubai.
Yet, this guy slept with supermodels, and it was not because of his choice of tie. It was because of power. That's what the sword is for. It adds to your value. If, however, you are in the top 10% of attractiveness, and you act even 20% like a Democrat, you will go back down to average level, and girls will start to think they can do better than you. This happened to me more than once. So, like, you start a relationship, and it's good for 3 months, but then here comes the democracy.
No matter what you do, once you're in that ick status, she's done. She's cut off. You know, she is not going to talk to you. She's not going to look at you the same way.
This is so very, very true.
Absolutely.
Even when I had a lot of this stuff and women liked me right away, which I guess it's happening again because I have skill, talent, ability, status, popularity.
Not saying I know this journey, but I know this journey.
Etc. Instead of
you say what?
I totally know this journey.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Total dick journey.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, absolute dick. You know what I'm saying?
And as you get older, you know how to leverage these qualities and build them into who you are. You use them as refinement for being a better man.
Yeah, I had to slow down though.
Yeah, definitely.
The blood pressure couldn't take it.
Because how's Jamaica doing?
Good.
Shout out to Jamaica. Yeah, shout out to Jamaica. They are in recovery after what was her name? Melissa?
Yeah,
Melissa came through. Shout outs to Cuba. I think Cuba is going to be faced with some damage next. So, yep. Let's go.
But when it was happening, because I looked better, I would behave like this or like this one time, and they would get some degree of ick, and they would cool right off.
Most of you will all be in the comments like crying about this and that, and it's not true. I am telling you, from a woman's perspective, we don't necessarily always have to find you attractive off the jump, but you can eventually become attractive to a woman.
Come on with the commercials. Y'all are killing me.
In here and put in
what browser do you use?
And you can mess it up too. Sarah made her video because men were...
I had to flip browsers, so we're over in Opera. So it should have had its own ad block, quote unquote.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Complaining that some woman stopped liking her husband because he changed his behavior. I'm making this video because I don't want you to get stuck thinking like that.
Yeah.
I make fun of women all the time for saying I am the table, which means I don't care what others think I have to offer. The male version of I am the table is I want her to like me for me. And
this is this discussion that I
Let's
have
talk for a
every
second.
single time.
Let's talk for a second.
Yep.
Let's talk. Because your boy's met challenges in dating. Otherwise, I'd be married. When I go back to certain individuals who I think I would get nurture and good advice from, female relatives about female nature, they say the same exact thing. They preach the male equivalent of you are the table. They've preached that to me.
Bring me full. Bring me full.
Bring you full?
Yeah, bring me full. I got to preach this. Listen, if I have any advice to any men that are listening to this and you are struggling with women and you are having the problems that you're having, I need you to stop that right now. Why I'm telling you to stop is because everything that you're thinking about is totally your fault. You have to understand that in this world, you have nothing but everything that you work for, period. This is never about what women are doing. Stop thinking that way. They're never going to give you good advice because they get bad advice themselves. They can never give you guidance. You are the one that's supposed to be providing that for them. Anything that you do when it comes to a woman, it is supposed to be on a level of teaching and guidance to give her for instruction and for value. Trying to keep a woman in this day and time is not your focus. It is to provide value. If you don't do that, you will always lose the game, and this is where you will fail. So if I give you any advice tonight, please, please, please focus on making sure that whatever you do, it is of value and of structure and to teach. That's all I got. You can lower me now.
Here we go. I can't ask for any more from my friend, JP. Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Thank you. And gentlemen, please, we are not here to be destructive. We are not here to be, as your boy C.I.P. uses the analogy, between sticks and ropes. Sticks are meant to defend and keep away. Ropes are meant to bind. Tonight is a night all about binding our minds to something bigger, right? We're here to teach, not be destructive, y'all. Not be destructive. Good. Yep. That's what's up, D. That's what's up. Break those trends that we fall into, those holes we fall into. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Let's see what our brother's talking about here. Round this off and move on to building a better you and what that looks like.
And not for the things about me. That doesn't make any sense. The only way that people can like you is by liking the things you have to offer. Rewatch the table if you have to. The point is that you can't say, I want to be liked, even though I'm not being things that are likable. Right. We don't live in times like this anymore, where most of us are going to get a chance. We live in times like this, and not all of us can be in the top 10%. And even if you are, you can still screw it up. And even if you don't, it's still gonna fade with time. So I know that it's hard to get attention because women are insanely picky, and it's hard to get familiar because everyone is isolated, no one's connected anymore. But telling women what to want doesn't work. It doesn't work on you either. You know how women say body count doesn't matter? It still does though, doesn't it? Matters a lot. You can either try to be what people want or don't, but you can't make them want something else. And that's true for women too. This one doesn't go away just...
Right, because that encroaches upon control. And we'll talk about control here in a minute. You can't control other people.
Because you say so. We just lie to you about it and then you end up here. So right. Yeah, it's bad that we don't have familiarity anymore. It makes women behave like this. The times we live in just make relationships less stable. But women just do not think like men. They don't like you just for being there unless you're extremely attractive, and you can still ruin it. And yeah, women should be more forgiving, but you can't make them. You can only be more of what they like, and keep doing it forever. I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. As a final reminder, here's more men whose wives hate them. What's going on here is the wife picks out a fruit and puts it in the bag, then the husband takes it out when she's not looking and says, "Is this one good?" And suddenly the same fruit is no longer good. It was good when she picked it, bad when he picked it. These men probably think they're making fun of their wives, but they're really just proving that they don't know how to be men. These women have the ick for their husbands because they're saying,
like, bro, your chick does not like you. She doesn't respect you. If it's a joke or not, you're literally being a bitch.
Is this one good enough, mommy? And women don't want that. They don't want to be your boss. They want you to say, this is what we're doing.
Pin your arms above your head.
Okay, go learn how to be in charge now and provide direction instead of expecting things. Go do impressive things.
What did JP just say? What did JP just say? We didn't, I don't even think I provided you this. I told you I was going to do HoH math, and that was it. And you knew what the schedule of the show was. And then here we are with the logic of providing gentlemen with good advice. Let's go.
Because a lot of dudes have been taught to seek the validity of what women tell them and what they should feel like and what they should be to them. That's not advice that you should seek as a man, because if you're ever going to be anything of value, it takes processes to be had within the scope of what you're doing, and to understand that the bigger goal through patience, long suffering, and things that are taught biblically are at the forefront of how you operate. It can't be based on what she's reacting to, because that's what was just shown within the confines of the last part of the video. You're worried about what she thinks. You're too busy trying to get the validation from her of her process of where her mind goes. That never works.
Nope.
Because you're always going to be disappointed based on it.
You're chasing.
It's
and that goes back to, I talked about that when I talked about Finn and his journey, the hero journey. He was chasing. He was chasing Princess Bubblegum. He was chasing Fire Princess. And in that chase, he self-destructed because he didn't love himself in the whole process. And like you said, you have to build who you are.
Segue.
All right, y'all. And building who you are, you have to change. What does that change look like? It can be uncomfortable. So we're going to look at our boy Chris Williamson. I have reacted to multiple Chris Williamson different contributions. Go check him out. He is a motivational speaker. He examines life through the lens of others. Life is hard. This podcast will help. Go check out Chris Williamson. All right. Let's talk about why change feels so lonely. Let's go.
You are a different character in the mind of each person who knows you, because their impression of you is made of the bare bones of what they've seen, fleshed out by their knowledge of themselves. That's from Gwynder Bogle. So the lonely chapter has another perspective to it, which is, as you grow, you don't fit in with your friends, but this means that they don't fit in with you either. This causes a reaction from their side too. The hardest part of changing yourself isn't just improving your own habits, it's escaping the people who keep handing you your old costume.
All right. I'm going to stop right there. My old costume for years had been existing within a poisonous family relationship, right? In order to separate and break those ties, drop the apron strings or break the generational curse, I had to become something different. And I had to separate myself from the fuckery of others. This was not comfortable. It was not a comfortable journey. I'm still regarded as a pariah, as a scourge, as being the toxic one. But I'm also not the one residing in the mosquito-infested waters of trauma and tying myself to the individuals who are the purveyors of that.
Right.
Let's
you
listen.
know what I laugh about that is because I understand your plight on that. And I know you know my story, but I think I've told this on your channel before. But I took therapy in 2021 for the very reason that when I was in therapy, or when I went to my therapist, the first thing I told him was, hey, listen, I'm not here for you to heal me from trauma. I'm not here for you to tell me some stupid way of being able to handle that. I need you to coach me and make me understand how to make better decisions.
There.
Because I no longer want to be irresponsible as a man to keep making bad decisions when it comes to everybody. I had the money, I had the girls, I had the lifestyle, but it led me nowhere, where I had no direction or no true outcome of changing things for the greater good.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very sad journey.
Others don't just remember who you were.
But that's part of our journey. And, we may just segue right into the hero journey. We may do a part 2 on this, or depends on how I feel. I might turn this into a little bit of an insomnia and then explore, options for the guys that have the big money. But might do that. We might just go with the flow here. But that journey piece, yeah, I think we're hitting the right direction here. Let's continue.
Yes, sir.
The night is young.
Force it, which is why reinvention so often feels like trying to break out of a prison that you can't see.
I'm going to let him cook.
Psychologists call this dynamic an object relation. So when people interact with you, they're not engaging with you in your full living complexity. They're dealing with the version of you that exists in their head, a simplified character.
Hey, Tone, why should people come to the AI Advantage?
You were a simplified character built from fragments of memory and colored by their own projections. In object relations theory, an object isn't a thing. It's just an internalized image of another person. We don't just carry people as they are. We carry a mental sketch, which is why if you make a radical change, you'll usually meet resistance. Your transformation destabilizes the representation that the people around you are attached to. So they try to nudge you back into the familiar role that they know.
There it is. How many times have I heard, I don't even know who you are anymore. I don't recognize you as my brother. Well, you're not supposed to know who I am anymore because you haven't bothered to explore who I've evolved into. And no, I'm not going to remain in the gutter and be the same piece of shit that I was in my 20s.
I mean, it's not for them to understand, because if they did understand it, they would be you, but they're not.
They're not.
So because they're not going to share the same space. They're going to create doubt. So you have to show and produce difference within that.
Hey, Tierra. How you doing, sis? Thanks for joining. Hit the like. Yeah, exactly, JP.
Charles Horton Cooley called this the looking glass self. We come to know ourselves by seeing our reflection in the eyes of other people. And if those mirrors keep reflecting the old you, it's hard to step into a new one.
Right.
In social psychology, self-verification theory shows that people prefer interactions that confirm what they already believe about themselves and about you. If you disrupt this script, you introduce friction. In this one study, participants with poor self-image chose to interact with people who criticized them rather than praised them, meaning that even people with low self-esteem often prefer others to treat them in ways that confirm their pessimistic self-view, because negative consistency feels safer than optimistic unfamiliarity.
Yes.
If that is true for how we see ourselves, imagine how much other people cling to their picture of you.
Yes.
Before his conversion, St. Augustine was notorious for chasing pleasure, indulgence, and distraction, and after his dramatic turn to faith, he struggled to convince old friends that he was no longer the same man. They resisted not just out of skepticism, but because the new Augustine didn't fit the story they had of him.
Right.
In Fitzgerald's novel, Jay Gatsby began life as James Gatz, a poor farm boy desperate to escape his origins. He tried to reinvent himself into a dazzling millionaire, but no matter how hard he works at it, the people around him reduce him back to the upstart outsider. His reinvention collapsed.
I go by Boog to those that know me. Boogie, affectionately by my mother. Oh, Boog, you ain't shit. You out there hanging out with them white folks.
Yeah. reducing you back to what they know.
You ain't shit. You think you somebody. You think you special. He thinks he's special because he's hanging out with those white people.
Yeah.
Always. And it'd be comfortable to say, oh, no, I don't want to fuck around and be part of some kind of important body that actually has influence in the city. I want to go hang around a bunch of fat, unhealthy people that are sad and chronically depressed and do absolutely nothing with their lives.
You know, changing those people is never the case.
No.
When you know what the end goal is going to be. Because if it's about changing them, then you're going to waste a lot of time. It's never that. It's the end goal of you producing the result that you're trying to get, period.
Yep.
If you're trying to be a winner, you're going to win regardless of how much the bad teams just suck and hate on you. Haters are needed.
Absolutely.
You know. Yep. Kiss the ring, bitches.
Under the weight of their collective refusal to update their vision of him. Nelson Mandela started as a fiery revolutionary against apartheid, and when he walked out of prison after 27 years, his followers expected him to emerge hardened and vengeful, and instead he embodied reconciliation. But that reinvention only truly stuck once he stepped onto the world stage.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside.
You were stepped onto the world stage, far beyond the circles that had known the old Mandela. David Bowie began as a struggling musician in London, trying to make a name for himself in a conventional scene. His breakthrough was constant self-reinvention.
Absolutely.
Ziggy Stardust, the Thin White Duke, and tons more. But each transformation...
Shout out Dave Bowie.
...often required leaving behind one circle, one city, one audience, because the people who knew him too well couldn't help but cling to the previous Bowie. St. Paul had once been Saul, infamous for persecuting Christians with unrelenting zeal. After his conversion, he became their fierce advocate. But many believers couldn't trust him. They couldn't stop seeing the old Saul, and it took years of travel and new communities before his new identity as Paul was accepted. And in ordinary life, this script repeats as well. The friend who quits drinking was once the reliable partner in crime, but then newfound sobriety unsettles the group and throws everyone else's bad habits into harsh contrast. The shy colleague who becomes confident was once predictable in their quietness, so their assertiveness now reads as arrogance.
Yep.
The young adult who comes home at Christmas was once an awkward teenager. However, no matter how much they've grown, the family still insists on infantilizing them.
Yep.
The podcaster who had a shaved head for 5 years gets a ton of stick for having a perm after he grows his hair out, despite his curls totally being natural and suiting his face and being quite a masculine haircut if you think about it for a while.
Did he just self-project?
He totally self-projected.
And it was awesome. He slid it right in there.
For having a perm after he grows his hair out, despite his curls totally being natural and suiting his face and being quite a masculine haircut if you think about it for a while. TLDR, many people don't like you because making positive changes is effortful to keep up with, and it's threatening to their shortcomings.
There we go.
So they dissuade you from doing it, which is why meaningful change so often requires escaping your environment. Change isn't just about building a new self. It's about escaping the gravitational pull of the selves that exist in other people's minds. It is odd to look at the lonely chapter from the other side, right? Okay, I got this thing, and I am compelled to go back to the old patterns, the old habits, the old ways of thinking. I'm going to do this thing because it's going to make me feel more accepted by my friends. Well, acceptance, it makes me feel more accepted by my friends. I am struggling to relate to them, but that means that they are struggling to relate to you, and they have their own motives and motivations.
Enter the experience.
9 times out of 10, they're not comfortable in their own frames, and they want you to exist in the shit they're in as well.
You have their own motives and motivations also. Like, they are not passive participants in this. They're changing as well. And the change that they have is typically trying to pull you back to the old vision that they've got of you, because it's effortful. And maybe it gives a little bit more empathy around why people are sort of feels like they're stuck in their old ways a little bit. Maybe it helps us to understand why we get less support for the changes that we want to make than we might prefer. But either way, it's certainly kind of, the
Message.
If the lonely chapter feels a little bit like you being trapped inside of a glass orb, this is what it looks like peering in from the outside. So I thought that was
Now, also, too, I want to applaud him for the fact that he did mention looking at yourself, right? Because that is a higher level of thinking to understand that you must look at yourself and take a step back and look at those others that you are trying to change from or that are on that negative pull, right? And be able to see. That's a higher level of thinking. That's an evolutionary step in and of itself. Being able to think about what others think. That's deep in and of itself. So we're leveling up here, folks, is what we're saying, right? We're leveling up here. We're going from welfare king to actually evolving and refining our mental process and how we grow. And it feels lonely and it feels like we're being pulled in multiple directions. It's all healthy. It's all healthy.
The next topic will be the pivot.
Yeah. We'll get back to talking in just 1 second.
All right. Ad read. Chris Williamson, my brother, thank you so much. Bro, coming from a brother who also is a naturally curly, bro, I feel you. Rock them motherfucking curls, bro. Do your goddamn thing. Don't let them tell you shit else. All right?
Nope.
Don't let them tell you shit else, Chris. What are we doing? We're going to do the journey because we got to wrap this up. And I think, if you don't mind, Mr. Guest, I think what we should do is just like a brief intermission. And then we just close out with Finn. Let's close out with the journey and development. Let's react and comment our way through that. And
that works perfect for me,
show
sir.
some education with the crowd. We will get into what it looks like for gentlemen as we build our empires, right? As we build our empires, as we work on the higher level refinements, travel, properties, multiple investments, things of that sort. Let's save that for a future episode.
Yeah, the asset deal is that's a conclave. Topic.
It is. It's one hell of a topic, and there are some very, very good resources that come to mind, El Guapo, that we can use as examples, and possible contributions to react to for that show specifically. Let's take a quick intermission. Bio break. Everybody go to the restroom, get yourself a beverage. JP and I are going to be right back. Give us just a second, folks. You guys like that, didn't you? You got to do the intermission music.
Yeah, goddamn elevator to the 57th floor ass music, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you taking that long ride, and then all of a sudden you get off and it smells like fucking Estee Lauder perfume with the old lady looking at you. She's sitting over there talking about, may I help you? No, Grace. I don't need you.
And the old
Yeah, I
carpet
don't
still
want.
smells like basement.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well, let me let you speak with Mr. Jones. He'll be with you in 1 minute shortly.
Right.
God, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch me, lady.
All right. We back. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, it is adventure time. Your boy C.I.P. is loving the Adventure Time story arcs and development. This time we're talking about Finn's journey in the Hall of Egress. Egress means exit. So he's going to be journeying in the Hall of Egress. All right. We got 2 content creators who we pull from for our Finn journey. Uncivilized Elk. I love content creators' names. We come up with some of the craziest shit. Uncivilized Elk. Go subscribe. All right. We are journeying back in time to Adventure Time. Many of us watched the series, but now we're going to look at it from an adult perspective, you guys. It's always good to go back and find good pieces of literature, animation, entertainment that have dual meanings. So, men, gentlemen, and I'm sure the ladies, you have a little bit you can pull from this as well. But this is about the guys tonight, our journey. So let's talk about it.
In the Hall of Egress, Finn gets trapped in a dungeon unlike any he has experienced before. At the expense of his sense of sight, he can manage to navigate out of this dungeon and resume his life blind, but if he ever opens his eyes, he finds himself back at the Hall of Egress, with everything he experienced essentially having been erased. Clearly, this episode has so much below the surface layer. It is packed with tons of thematic depth, symbolism, allegories, and the like. Are you ready to explore them? Before we begin, I have to prelude this explanatory analysis by saying there are multitudes of valid ways to interpret this episode, and this video will be my personal take at explaining what the episode was about. Who knows, after my thoughts have more time to ferment, I might heavily revise my current ideas, or even come up with brand new explanatory frameworks. Now, let's establish the groundwork we have to work with. As I said, this episode is highly interpretable and no doubt varies based on the personal perspective of the viewer. However, there are 3 attributes which are well defined and fixed in place, so to say, and for the most part, any large-scale interpretation has to take these attributes into account and integrate them into the analysis. Attribute 1. Finn has to brute force his way out of the labyrinth rather than relying on clues, physical objects, or even past experience.
There we go. Not having the tools to be able to maneuver in life.
No, you're behind the 8 ball.
Yep. You are not enabled with any of those tools. And you have to seek this out blindly. Being a man, dating, jobs, interactions with others as you get to be an adult. Because those interactions as a child are amplified. We're adults now. What does that interaction look like?
He cannot carefully plan a route out. It will simply not work. Finn has to throw caution to the wind and go... Attribute 2. Part of Finn's journey included completely casting aside his past identity. Finn left behind his...
We just talked about that. Casting aside your identity, being uncomfortable with change, being uncomfortable with the way that others view you that don't understand the journey you're on. Simplified. But again, here we go.
Friends and family.
What was that?
A new you.
A new you.
Mm-hmm.
But even that wasn't enough. The thread of his shirt is overtly symbolic, and it even harks back to the start of the episode. It is both a way for him to return from whence he came, as well as a way for his pals, which in this case would represent his past life, to catch up with him. And due to this, Finn has to leave behind his trademark clothes, which give him the defining image we all recognize. The scene of his clothes floating down the river marks the moment when Finn sheds his identity completely. Attribute 3. This occurs alongside Finn casting aside his old identity. To escape the dungeon in its entirety, Finn had to stop trying to escape it. To find the exit, he had to stop looking for it. Finn unknowingly states as much himself.
no more egress.
Now that these 3 guidelines are established, let's start unweaving some potential allegories.
All right. Allegory time, y'all. Let's build this up to who we are as adults.
Actually have an interpretation that relates specifically to Finn and the process of growing up, and this is my primary explanation for how this episode is contextualized with the rest of the Adventure Time series. But before we get there, I want to cover 2 more generalized mini allegories I felt the episode might represent. One brief interpretation I have evokes a moral, more or less, to the story. That moral is how sometimes in life, you can't get hung up on the details. To progress, you just have to push forward and see where you end up. Finn's attempts at painstakingly cataloging a route to escape the dungeon was for naught, as the layout was ever-changing, which represents how sometimes life can move at a faster pace than you can keep track of it. Life won't always wait for you to catch up, and even when you think you're out, the ordeal may not be over. Instead of staying in the same place, with the same identity, and stagnating, you have to yet again just move forward, because in the end, that's the only real choice you have. And eventually, without even being aware of it, you might find yourself...
Yeah. You caught it
That's
too,
the only
huh?
choice you have.
You caught it too, huh?
That is the only choice you fucking have.
It's the only choice you have. You cannot remain in the brackish water. You cannot remain in that mosquito-infested water. You cannot remain with the individuals and what's familiar but painful and doesn't allow you to grow.
Then did I not just say that the Bible is the allegory of the whole aspect of what we're needing to learn? And there was a point where Jesus walked away from all of the people in the village that did not listen.
Yep. Absolutely.
Same deal.
Same deal.
At the right place where everything fits together and you can see the big picture. The second mini allegory is in a similar vein, but more elaborate. This episode can also be a representation of the process of how to...
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. Why is Jake down here at the bottom like a damsel in distress on those old school?
While pulling them back.
Like the old school ones where the damsel in distress would be reaching up for the hero's leg all passionately, like, oh, Mr. Hero, save me. Like all the old, I can't think of who the author is, but he used to draw all the old fantasy novels, not the Harlequin novels the ladies would read, but like the Conan the Barbarian novels. And he'd have the chick in the scantily clad bikini with big old boobas out. And she's like,
you're talking about James, what is his name? Jesus. I know who you're talking about because they would read those novels all the time.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like made the Dune cover and that guy that made
like
all those
James
novels.
Patterson or something like that. God, what was his name?
I think you're on the right path. But yes.
Yeah.
Why is Jake
Jake's a fuck up.
This episode can also be a representation of the process of how to see things from a completely different perspective, a perspective that is entirely foreign to you. This encapsulates the symbolism of foresightlessness really well. You have to attain the ability to see things from a different perspective, but until then, you're actually in the dark about it. If you try to see, and I can't help but continuing to stress the word see here because it's so applicable, if you try to see from a different perspective before you've actually acquired it, you basically end up right at the start, back at your old perspective. That's represented by Finn continuing to return to the Hall of Egress when he opens his eyes prematurely. Something has to be different in how you process information. Finn says so himself.
If I open them now, it'll just be the same. I gotta wait till something's different.
And Finn realizes that
something's different
when the hatch that he used to be able to pass through can suddenly be felt. Finn is processing information differently.
Yep.
We all have certain ways of constructing our worldviews, and it can be incredibly hard to fight against the habitual manner in which our minds operate. Attempts at rationalizing and using facts and evidence to change a mental framework will often yield nothing. After all, the same evidence can often cause people to come to vastly different conclusions. This is symbolized by the first attribute, Finn being unable to think his way out of the dungeon. To take on a completely different perspective, we may have to force ourselves to temporarily cast aside our identity and what defines us. After all, those things are what led us to having our original perspective in the first place.
or you have to cast aside old behaviors because that's what led you to the destructive situation you're in now. There are multiple ways to apply this. We're adults. Look at this from our adult perspective. Look at this from the different situations and scenarios we either are in by circumstance or by choice. All right? We grown-ups here, folks.
Message.
This is attribute 2. Sometimes you just have to go along with something, despite not being sure where exactly you're heading. So you have to temporarily...
You mean you have to go with something? You're not going to tell me. Shout out Messi.
I'm going to tell you.
You're not going to tell me how to live my life. Ma'am, life is going to life regardless of what the fuck you think or feel.
Right.
Cast aside what you perceive as facts and truth.
Right. It's you ain't stopping a universal vibe from moving.
Truths, as well as casting aside the manner in which you process information and simply exist and absorb what's around you. You can't force yourself into a different perspective, but through patience and osmosis, you may be able to acquire it and understand it. This is attribute 3. At the end of it all, you still come out as yourself and will likely view the world in similar terms, just as Finn did at the end of the episode. But now you've acquired the ability to understand and comprehend in a different manner.
You're given new tools and you were receptive to the experience. You were receptive to learning, right? We talked about, pardon me, we talked about individuals seeking something better, but not being prepared. You've opened your mind. You're prepared. You're prepared to be receptive. You've evolved. You've improved. You've refined yourself. Now, when you hear someone speak, you're not offended by what they say, but you are receptive and you actually listen.
To see things in a different light. Everything stays, but changes ever so slightly. This is also where I want to bring up the statue of the snowman that sits on a pedestal in the middle of the room. Most viewers probably had the thought that this may have been the easy answer to exit the dungeon all along, that Finn never comprehended. The snowman is upside down, and the different components of the snowman can be lifted individually. They are not a single sculpted chunk of stone. There are also multiple shots in this episode that place an emphasis on the snowman's presence.
It's almost like the maze is trying to tell me something. Something confusing.
In the universe, whether rearranging the snowman would have unlocked the hatch, or if the snowman was a complete red herring, remains an unknown, but I would prefer to think it indeed is representative of the obvious solution that many of us can't fathom. In the context of the allegory of seen from a different perspective, all that needs to be done is to rearrange the foundation of how your thoughts are structured, but such a thing is often difficult to recognize and perform,
And that goes back to exactly what I was just saying. Being receptive, right? Being receptive. He walks past this snowman so many times, and I have to admit, I was one of the ones who was like, bro, just fucking reverse the snowman. The snowman's upside down. Bro, what are you doing? Like, so many times I said that, right? Like, it was just like over and over and over again. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, like, all you got to do is just reverse the thing. 12. Yes, we still with this cartoon. We are, in fact, with this cartoon. So today's episode with JP is Sins of the Father as well as men, right? Our development and what we're left with, who we're left with, what guidance we're left with. Me, JP, and I are here to share our perspective and hopefully offer some guidance, kind of bind gentlemen's minds to focus in on something better, something different. So in this episode, we are exploring Finn, our homeboy, and his journey in personal growth, right? Personal development and being able to see the world from all perspectives. And the point we're concentrating on here right now is this snowman. So he passes the snowman. What happens is he's in a loop. It's Groundhog Day for our character. And he keeps going back to this dungeon and walks past this pedestal with this snowman. So I kept seeing him do this and kept going through his little adventures when he passes the snowman and what he chooses past, in the depths of the dungeon. But it's just kind of obvious. Me and JP and I were just saying, it's just kind of obvious. Like the answer is right there in front of you.
Right.
All right, let's wind it back a little bit.
The hatch, or if the snowman was a complete red herring, remains an unknown, but I would prefer to think it indeed is representative of the obvious solution that many of us can't fathom. In the context of the allegory of seen from a different perspective, all that needs to be done is to rearrange the foundation of how your thoughts are structured, but such a thing is often difficult to recognize and perform, and many of us often end up taking the difficult route.
There it is.
Imagine being able to build anything.
All right, sorry about the commercials.
Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Yeah,
the final allegory relates to that good old coming-of-age story arc. The particular coming-of-age journey in the Hall of Egress, I argue, is one that's specifically about Finn beginning to transition away from his stage of adolescence. Our boy has entered puberty quite a few seasons ago, and now he is on the cusp of leaving, or egressing, out of it. Boys usually complete puberty around the age of 16 or 17, and as of the episode The Comet, Finn was 16 years old, so he is right in that age zone. Before we dive into the deep end, don't forget your floaties, let's look at the definitions of egress again. Princess Bubblegum most succinctly summarizes egress as
exit,
but more detailed versions include the act or instance of going, especially from an enclosed place, a means or place of going out, an exit, the right or permission to go out, and in astronomy, immersion.
There we go.
Wait, what was that last one?
Yep.
That one sticks out like a sore thumb from the rest. Immersion, also called egress. In astronomy, it means the emergence of a heavenly body from an eclipse, occultation, or transit.
Yep.
Now this paints a
He has
cool
risen.
symbolic image when you tie it into the
Yep, what's that?
He has risen.
He has risen.
stage of puberty I was discussing earlier. At the start of Adventure Time, Finn was a young hero in training who wore his heart on his sleeve. He was simple, easy to read, and a young lad brimming with potential.
Not a young C.I.P. Look at him. Look at him. Just a little bit less tan.
And then the full brunt of puberty hits, and Finn begins to change and grow. At times he's a bit pathetic, at times he's manipulative.
Yeah, who wasn't that? C.I.P. Your boy C.I.P. I'm humble. You know, I've got humility. I was just like that. Look at that. Oh. That was me in May this year.
He's a bit pathetic, at times he's manipulative and inconsiderate, at times he succumbs to self-doubt, and as he grows and learns more about himself and his place in life, he...
I ain't shit.
Yeah. Shouts out to the Heartbreak Kid. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. Where's that heartbreak?
We all been there, bro.
Look at that. Oh, poor Finn. I feel, bro.
Just fucking toe up, man.
Toe up. Just toe up. Just roll it on the ground. Miserable.
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you my heartbreak story because it's horrible, man. I literally was in a row with manwich on a fucking plate, dog.
Oh, just crying with manwiches, crying on your plate of manwiches and Texas fries.
Yeah, and then my homeboy was like, "Man, what the fuck? You in a whole apartment, man, dark room, eating manwiches and shit, and you smell like ass."
Just not showered for a week.
Yeah, she's gone, but dog, she's gone,
bro.
Gone.
She's gone, bro. JP, help me, nigga. What?
Shouts out to the Manwich King, dog.
Is that why you kicked my back in and got me back on the horse, bro? Got me back. I'm good.
I done been there, bro. It's horrible.
You've been there.
Man, I'm telling you, Manwich's dog watching HBO.
Oh,
didn't know what the fuck was on TV.
Next time we know somebody with heartbreak, we just gotta look at that dude on the ground, rolling around sad like manwich.
Look, we need to get a montage going, man, and then just have this playing with some sad violin music and shit. Shouts out to Messi for this shit.
Shout outs to sis. If you ain't been down bad off some heartbreak, you ain't lived real life. Gentlemen, It's a part of life. It's a part of life. It sucks, but it's a part of life.
Oh my God.
At times he's manipulative and inconsiderate. At times he succumbs to self-doubt, and as he grows and learns more about himself and his place in life, he has periods of depression, angst, and confusion. Finn is experiencing the many aspects of being a teenager and learning to cope with grief and regret. And many people succinctly
Hey, sis, we are working on ourselves. We're working on the gents. We're working on building better futures for ourselves and looking back and seeing what we can do to change and improve, refine, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Team replay for you. You know what
Team
I'm saying?
replay. That's right, sis.
summarize this period of Adventure Time as emotionally dark. And that's how it ties into the aggression imagery. When an eclipse, occultation, or transit occurs, an object is blocked by something, either partially or completely, depending on which event we're describing. Finn's metaphorical light was obscured during his stage of puberty when Finn was dealing with some self-destruction.
Wait, I don't have you seen this? Have I seen this episode? Goddamn, these animators, they ain't shit.
Either partially or completely, depending on which event we're describing. Finn's metaphorical light was obscured during his stage of puberty when Finn was dealing with some self-destructive aspects of himself.
He is crashing out for real. This is the whole crash out.
Finn's metaphorical light was obscured during his stage of puberty when Finn was dealing with some self-destructive aspects of himself. I don't think I need to reference 80s pop music to convince people that an eclipse is typically associated or is a symbol for dark times in one's life. So the point is, an egress in astronomical terms marks the ending stage of an eclipse or occultation, the ending of obfuscation. Finn is in the process of transitioning out of puberty. I would say he started the egress back when he embraced life in the episode The Comet. This episode is an allegorical representation that our hero is moving beyond his stage of adolescence and becoming an adult. So let's now tie the three attributes I've outlined previously into this allegory of egression from adolescence. Using clues and formulating an escape route out of a labyrinth is representative of how you can't become an adult by trying to emulate what you think an adult should act like.
How many people do you know are stuck pretending like they're adults?
Man.
Drawing blueprints for themselves built around masks and imagery.
Clueless.
Clueless to personal development, clueless to how you have to evolve as a person. Y'all chiming in? Too many. Yep, the I'm grown people. Yep.
Adult by trying to emulate what you think an adult should act like. Doing research and constructing a guide on how to act grown up would simply result in a farcical facade. A person does not rationalize their way into acquiring the label of an adult. That label is associated with how that person intuitively acts.
It's merit. How you intuitively act. And we can see other people's intuition in the way that they behave. Because if you are somebody who's emotionally mature, as we like to fling around so casually these days, it's very easy to see the same maturity in others, or a lack thereof.
That might seem a tad silly when Finn is shouting, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," but that just goes to show how being an adult is not at all equivalent to having a stiff, no-nonsense personality. The integration of the second attribute is quite obvious, since it has to do with shedding your old identity, and the process of becoming an adult does involve taking on a new identity.
He embraced his awkward, he took on the new identity and refined himself and shed the old clothes, his old labels, right?
It also includes finding oneself in a new and unknown place in life, which is demonstrated well visually by Finn wandering through the landscape with no knowledge of where he actually is. Finn essentially going primal is representative of how transitioning into an adult often means you'll be a greenhorn at many things. You will have a lot of learning to do from square one, from the ground up. In a sense, it can feel like you're reverting to the basics, which is what Finn is doing in the sense of survival. Finn is taking on a back-to-the-basics lifestyle.
I'm going to tell you what, the worst thing is going on a venture alone and feeling that you won't get support, and then doubting yourself and backing out of that adventure or venture. That's the worst mistake we can make as men. Joining
the fear.
Yeah, the fear. Joining the fraternity and becoming a part of becoming a part of a major part of the community out here in the suburb and interacting with these people and not knowing these people and thinking that it's going to be a strange thing and thinking that it may be something that I might be uncomfortable being a part of, and then seeing that, oh, look, it's just a neighborhood group. It's just everybody from the neighborhood who cares. It's everybody from the community who cares. People who look like me, people who don't look like me, people from other countries. We are here because we care, because we want to be involved. So I got over that fear just to evolve, just to, and then what do I gain from that? More interaction, more socialization, new friends, networks, growth.
Yep.
If you're having a hard time understanding what I'm trying to get at here, think of the episode Rattleballs, where Finn learns better swordsmanship. Finn has been killing monsters with swords for practically his whole life, and yet he is still terrible at swordsmanship and needs to start back from the basics. Well, that's what being an adult often feels like. And just like with the allegory of seeing things from a different perspective, while you do abandon your old...
Making mistakes as an adult is part of being an adult. Make your mistakes, make them gracefully, and correct yourself.
Message.
Right.
Correct yourself.
There it is.
That's it. Making mistakes. I'm making mistakes all the time. I make mistakes sending fucking emails to God and country at my job, and then have to correct myself and move forward. No, not to make the same mistakes. Don't forget to check your dates. Something so minute in the details of the fucking email. It's life. It's an adult. You're an adult.
Absolutely.
So, make informed choices. Use your tools, the lessons of the past, the lessons that make sense that you've learned from others. But when you make your mistakes, learn from them. Don't repeat them.
Identity to transition into an adult, it's typically just a temporary phase. The first stages of an adult can make you feel like you're a different person, but after you manage to embrace adulthood, you often find out you've still retained all the things that made you who you were. Again, everything stays, but changes ever so slightly.
Everything stays, but changes ever so slightly. And that's absolutely true. And even more slightly where individuals around you don't evolve and they judge you for your evolution, which leads us to y'all's question. How important is it to consider other people's opinion about your growth? Like if others who know you can't see your growth or evolution. Sis, just a moment ago, we did a react to Chris Williamson. Pardon me. Chris Williamson. I'm going to go ahead and put his link in the chat again. Team replay, sis, go back and rewind. Chris Williamson actually talked about this video here. Why change feels so lonely. Your boy C.I.P. does his research and thinks about all the angles that we go through or that maybe he himself has gone through. And being judged by others is a major, major piece in growth. Not only those that you're around on a constant basis, but even those close to you that you may not have seen, family, friends. Your growth is either celebrated or judged. And more times than not, it's judged based on the fact that it makes them feel comfortable and inadequate. To sum it up, when the judgment comes upon you, it's usually the inadequate feelings of the other who is not seeking the same thing. Your boy CIP's heard a lot of times in his life, well, that's just what white people do. But compared to where other people are in their lives, I must have been doing something extremely right. So, yeah, go back and check Chris Williamson. Team replay, like, subscribe, y'all. Stop messing around. I know y'all are out there watching, Cloud Watchers. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Get your boy CIP to 1,000. We're working on it. We're going to get monetized over here. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Things are getting better every show. Thank y'all for being here so much.
The third attribute relates to the simple concept that you can't try to grow up. Trying to grow up more often than not merely delays the entire process. Transitioning into an adult is just a thing that happens naturally on its own. There is mild overlap with the first attribute here, but the difference is in the scale. The first attribute is about nitpicking the details, while the third attribute is about how if you're constantly thinking or concerning yourself with whether you're grown up or adult enough, you're actually being rather childish. Only when Finn
And you know what? What's kind of fucked up is that goes back to generational trauma, because what do? We infantilize one another. So
we hold on.
Yep, we hold on. So we hold in our brains that, oh, you were this young man that grew up. Oh, you were so kind and sweet. Oh, I remember you when you had your little curly hair and you was dancing around with your little shorts on. And that's it. That's it. That's all you exist as in their infantilized minds, because they themselves never grew the fuck up.
Never.
They never grew the fuck up. It's almost like I want to tell people that I'm associated with either family, friend, or whatever, and like, look, motherfucker, grow the fuck up. I have. That's where I kind of challenge people. And we're not going to spiral too far, but that's where I challenge people who also hide who they are and mask who they are physically. Spiders, makeup, and weave. Shout out Messi. There's too much psychosis going on there that is keeping them hidden behind something. They're not being their true selves, and I don't care what anybody says. This is true. I think my concern is when someone clearly isn't growing, and how those genuinely can see that and actually voice it. Some people, that is actually, we talked about this, sis. That is actually, go back in team replay. I think we might have answered some of the questions. That's control. So that you become a control mechanism at that point. And we have to understand, as the ones that recognize the flaws in others, that we can't control that. Some of us have to be the messengers, patient messengers. We have to be the patient messengers, because everyone isn't ready to receive the message at that point in their life. And a lot of times that calls for us to separate ourselves from them, especially if they're destructive. I will use an example. I have a relative or two, and they've had situations where cops have literally come to their homes and kicked in the doors. Damn, who's behind the door, on the other side of the door, in bedrooms, sleeping, children, or otherwise. I cannot associate with those individuals. I don't give a fuck how much I love them, because my life has evolved. I can't talk to them because I'm now 50 and I spent my 20s and my 30s and my 40s trying to help others around me. So now I got to separate myself from those individuals, and I'm just going to move on. Now, life is too short, which is the part I'm going to lay on top of that. I can't look back. Who's got time for that? Who's got time for that? I'm 50 fucking years old. I got 20, 30 years on this earth at most. You think I'm going to waste my time in the brackish water that these individuals create for themselves? The water with the antifreeze and mosquitoes and a dead squirrel's carcass in it. You want me to come back to that and exist in that with you, instead of being C.I.P. that you see right the fuck here right now. The fuck out of here.
I'm gonna roll you back, because that's the wasting time stream. We can get into that one.
We can get into that one, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Sis, go back, sis. Team replay. This is a good episode. I think we're hitting on all cylinders here tonight, JP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hard hitters.
Old enough, you're actually being rather childish. Only when Finn stopped trying to egress entirely did he manage to actually egress. The moral in this sense is that growing up is not something you should concern yourself with. It's not worth fretting over, and one day you may find yourself surprised that you're already an adult. Heck, I think it's apt that Finn actually freaks out at first when he finds himself back inside the Hall of Egress, because many of us realize how great being a kid was only after we have started transitioning into becoming adults. I gotta bring up the snowman again for this emerging from adolescence allegory, as again, it serves as symbolism of the easy but indiscernible answer. Sometimes, to transition into an adult, you just have to get your life in proper order, get the snowman in proper order. But from where we stand, that's not as easy or obvious as some onlookers, us viewers, might think.
Right, we just talked about that, JP. Getting your life in order, gentlemen. We're in the home stretch here, folks.
Instead, we wander around aimlessly, taking the hard path until we emerge
Yeah, I was wondering if anybody would catch on to that. I didn't want to latch onto it because I know it's getting late for us here on the East Coast. We're at 12:05 a.m. and some of us have a busy Thursday morning in the 9 to 5. But yeah, but y'all, yes, facts. Realizing how good childhood was when life hits us as adults. Adulting in and of itself is a whole thing, right? We can go on and on about adulting. Excuse me. We can go on and on about that. But just the point, there are so many people that complain about things in their lives. They don't address what the thing is and talk about it. They complain about the things in their lives. And these are grown adults. There's a mental problem with those individuals. And that's all I'm going to say. That you can apply that with a broad paintbrush. I over here I write the narrative. So apply that with a broad paintbrush, as your boy C.I.P. has instructed you. But there are some motherfuckers that are locked on that, and it's just fact. You can go look at your YouTube feed and you'll find it. All right, let's go.
Victorious from the ordeal. And that, in my personal view, is the primary allegory behind the Hall of Egress.
With Google Play Games, you can play unlocked.
Come on. Sorry, folks.
I want to draw analogies from two other works of fiction to the main concept in the Hall of Egress. This main concept is the widely applicable notion that to egress, you have to stop trying to egress. No doubt there's an extensive amount of literature out there you could draw analogies and parallels to, but I just want to briefly discuss the first two that came to my mind, and those are the anime FL Seal and the video game No More Heroes. In FL Seal, the protagonist Naota is a young boy just entering puberty, but he thinks himself to be far more adult than those around him, including actual adults. When Naota tries to act what he presumes an adult should act like, is when he appears the most childish, and he often ends up demonstrating his naivete. By the end of the series, when Naota...
Shout out anime, because anime breaks down the brutal truths of the human condition way better than anything we have in the West.
Absolutely.
Naota's coming-of-age story has concluded, he has matured by accepting that he is still a child, and the act of embracing his own childhood, conversely, makes him appear more grown up than at any other point in the series. FL Seal is a prime example of how an individual can't force themselves into adulthood even if they feel trapped as a child.
Fooly cooly. Shout out.
Which is directly equivalent to the third allegory I described earlier. In the game No More Heroes, the concept of egress is subverted in a rather unique manner. If you're familiar with the game, you may remember that the term paradise is often used in a manner such as,
then let's find that exit they call paradise.
Paradise in this game is death. Take my word for it, it's pretty darn overt, and is used contextually in this manner multiple times.
Here's your ticket to paradise, old man.
Now to be specific, it's not...
Shout out Japan.
I'm telling you.
They don't care. They tell you what it is.
Simply dying, but more akin to dying a warrior's death on the battlefield against a worthy opponent. And this game is also a parody of video games in general, so there's far more complexity layered atop the whole thing, but that's a separate topic altogether. So, what's the comparison to egress as seen in Adventure Time? Well, the protagonist, Travis, is a highly self-destructive individual, and he has what can be called, in the most simple terms, a death drive.
So, how many gentlemen out there want to and or live their lives associated with highly destructive individuals? There are so many allegories that we can just like the Bible. Modern entertainment pulls from stories from our past, pulls from experiences. I know characters like this from friend groups, friends and relatives that just don't give a fuck about life in whatever expression that is, from hood to trailer park and every level in between.
It's something the psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud wrote a bunch of semi-interesting bullshit about back in the day. At multiple points in the game, Travis comments on how he wants to find the...
It's a part of the human condition. We are archetypes, ultimately. There will always be similar chemical behavioral patterns that we'll see in individuals around us. And that's also part of being emotionally mature enough to see that in other humans.
I mean, we're on the playground on this planet of mental gymnastics that cause, psychosis games amongst the elites. But
Yep. Another stream. But yes, and but from the social perspective, that those mental gymnastics are exactly what being on Earth and being an adult are all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Exit to paradise, and how he can't find the exit. In fact, in the first boss fight, he repeats this line 5 times in a row at the end of an internal monologue. Travis wants to find a fulfilling death. That is his egress. But this desire is what essentially bestowed him with the experience, skill, willpower, and unflinching resolve to fight to the death without a shred of fear or holding anything back. His death drive is what allows him to be a ruthless killer. His death drive is, surprisingly, what keeps him alive. Travis cannot egress because he's always trying to find the exit. Yeah, I know, bizarre, but No More Heroes is a pretty bizarre game, and pretty much the last thing Suda51 made that's worth playing, but that's an unrelated personal rant. Another thing you can do with the episode The Hall of Egress is overlay it onto the standard Hero's Journey template, though this is by no means the first adventure Finn has had that this applies to. It's an easy and fairly fun thing to do, and Finn's journey covers nearly all the basics.
So your call to adventure, right? Your thresholds, the beginning of your transformation, your guardians, those that guide you, right? Me and you tonight, right, bro? Guiding these individuals, helping them, providing them with the tools, mentoring them, helping them through their challenges and temptations, right? We're ruined. We're corrupt. We're ruined. We just need to repent. We're old. But these young guys...
I mean, don't let them get the part that we're jaded as hell. But I mean,
I know. Yeah, we can't let them know we're jaded as hell yet.
Yeah,
We have to help.
that's the beer talking.
But help the guys learn, and then this is it. This is their transformation. This is for them. From here on out, it's for them. It's for these guys to learn, and then gift of the goddess return. So give it back. Pay it back. Pay it forward to new young bucks that are coming up, to new people that need that mentor, that helper. Right. We learning, y'all.
This looks like the life cycle of fucking fertilizer.
Life cycle of fertilizer. We are not the Matrix, JP.
You take a shit, it goes to the ground and it grows back.
The Matrix chews us up, uses us for energy, and spits out another human. Oh my God.
Regurgitation of fucking
biomass regurgitation.
That's the hero journey, gentlemen.
That's the hero's journey. You just biomass, bro. Look at you, jaded. You're not supposed to be. We are supposed to be instructive, Jake. You're being destructive right now, bro. Horrible. You be. Let's go.
Components. Obviously, Finn's call to adventure is just that he inherently loves the joy of adventuring, but also Flambeau's brother did recommend a new dungeon. The supernatural aid is the dungeon itself, locking Finn inside. The threshold is the hatch that Finn can't open, and this hatch also marks Finn's entry into the unknown. The challenges and tribulations are, of course, the labyrinth itself, but also the entirety of the puzzle Finn has to solve. I would have said Finn lacks an actual mentor in this specific journey and relies largely on himself, except wait, we have that flashback to Princess Bubblegum teaching Finn what egress is.
Exit.
So I think that covers that base. Finn's helpers, Jake and BMO. This may seem counterintuitive, as they were chronically opening his eyes and forcing him to reset. But these actions of Jake and BMO are what lead Finn to the realization that he can't just stay behind at the treehouse.
Kicking his back in. Shout out to JP.
Get your ass up.
Get your ass up.
For months, waiting.
Open your goddamn eyes to what's around you. Stop whining and crying, sir. Respectfully, I'm here as your friend. I love your bunches, but get out the fucking bed.
For something to change.
So in a way, when Jake says,
If I want to do it that bad, it must be kind of right, right?
he is correct. He actually was helping Finn along because he helped Finn reach that revelation portion of the hero's journey.
Fucking shout out Jake every time I see Jake. You diabolical, bro, but shout out.
He's fucked up for that.
The death and
He always a fuck up for that.
rebirth component is covered by the shedding of identity and the taking on of a new one, and that also covers the transformation component. Atonement, let's ignore that one. And then finally, the gift of the goddess component during the return. That seems to be what Princess Bubblegum says to Finn.
At the seashell's center lies the cornucopia's smallest door.
For Finn, PB is a mentor, a ruler, an icon, and even Finn's first crush. And Finn has taken up an idealized version of PB in his mind that's somewhat separated from the actual PB. Finn's mental image of PB has already appeared as a goddess figure back in the episode Breezy, and here she is making a similar appearance on Finn's journey back to the known. So yeah, I'd say other than Atonement, the monomyth, or the hero's journey, fits quite well onto the structure of this episode. The last thing I want to discuss before this video concludes is the phrase PB says to Finn.
At the seashell's center lies the cornucopia's smallest door.
If nothing else, that's extremely provocative. I wasn't even sure how to start parsing this phrase, so originally I googled Adventure Time and cornucopia, and I learned that cornucopia was actually the name of a Thanksgiving week advertising program for Adventure Time back in 2014, which led up to the airing of these 4 episodes. And immediately I thought, what the hell am I doing? But wait, on the other hand, the episode Is That You was one of the more elaborate episodes that dealt with multiverses, resulted in the Finn sword, and had multiple doors in it, and even references to doors.
I guess I'm headed towards that door.
So could PB's phrase be some sort of foreshadowing or callback in relation to the Finn sword or Prismo's reality branching dimension, or something along those lines? I honestly have no idea. I also tried parsing the imagery PB is invoking with her phrase into words to see if some obvious meaning could be inferred. At the seashell's center. Well, there's a variety of seashell types, but if one is going to have a discernible center, the imagery being utilized is probably the swirling variety.
Yeah, nautilus shell, obviously.
So in other words, at the spiral's center. There's 2 ways you can view a spiral, as everything going toward a singularity, or everything emerging from a singularity.
Right.
Shells grow outward from the center spiral or whirl, so the first part of the phrase could essentially be interpreted as at the source from which everything emerges. A cornucopia, or a horn of plenty, is a representation of the resources that the earth lavishes us with.
All right. I'm going to break this down. We grow. We grow, right? We develop. When you look back at the Nautilus shell, it's got layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, right? For those in the audience. And that's how these shells develop. Well, a cornucopia, you've got a pear, an apple, a pomegranate, grapes, pumpkin, plums, many different varieties of fruit. What you also have is representation for who you are as a character, for who you are as a man, how you grow over time, what you build in that cornucopia of your character, the things that make you who you are, your habits, your normal behaviors, your tendencies, your mannerisms, the tools that you have for day-to-day interaction, your hobbies, your everyday vocation, something that you take pride in, not just slave wages, right?
The fruit you bear.
The fruit you bear. Everything that you've developed and evolved as your own individual, right? That's what that illustrates. That's exactly what that illustrates. JP, let's cook.
Sir, This is an awesome stream. Listen, if I can give anything to the audience as we close out this thing, what I define father is teacher. Your mother's your first teacher. Your dad becomes your life teacher. So anytime that you're around fathers, men that teach, they guide you, they parallel you into a universe in a realm that helps you grow to the fruit in the place that you need to be within life. Iron sharpens iron. It's all about being able to have personal growth along with camaraderie with other men that are going to give you the tools necessary. So, in the title of this topic tonight, gentlemen, realize one thing: recognize who you surround yourself with and understand that it is vital and crucial to become the people that you aspire to be, and use those tools that they give you and resources to grow and to give back to others that are less fortunate and that don't have the same parallel or level to be able to rise to the level you are. You are here to understand that there is something greater than you that you are striving to be. What that is, you may not know, but it's your job to find it. And let every man that surrounds you that's going to make you better help you find that. It's called purpose. So remember, gentlemen, your life is not your own. That's when ego is removed and you start to find your purpose based on that. So what I'll leave you with tonight is that in going back and looking at this stream, looking at the lessons we presented to you, take those with you. You have a reference. You have a tool to be able to improve your life, to give you the guidance necessary to be able to make better decisions and to be better men. We're here for you. If you need any guidance, advice, or resources to be able to help you improve, I'm here. C.I.P.'s here. And we're just here to build and continue to make ourselves better men. I'll land my plane.
Absolutely.
Message.
Thank you. Thank you very much, JP. And thank you very, very, very much for being here this evening. It's past our bedtime.
Yeah, we some old son bitches, man.
We old.
You know what I'm saying?
We old.
Yeah,
At the beginning, you guys, I mentioned, the debate that can be had about a good father, especially pop icons like Kratos, right? Was he a good father? Maybe, maybe not. I think he grew in the end. I think his son taught him some things. If you've played through it, you know. But more than anything, I have to say, we are here for you. We are here to be ropes in your journey and to bind our minds together, bind your experience to something better. Okay? Not to shun you away or embarrass you about the simplest pieces and parts of that journey along the way, right? And the segue into that, remember that nothing is true and everything is permitted. If you know, you know. That comes from Assassin's Creed. Your boy C.I.P. is a man of many cultures, many things. Seek knowledge. It's what it means to me. Seek knowledge. Nothing's true. Everything's permitted. You are permitted to seek knowledge. Your boy JP, you're over there. You're over there. My boy JP and me, we here to share that knowledge and to help you evolve, my friends. The world around us is not an absolute reality. Our realities, what we see, what we share, how we view other people, other people's experiences on Earth, okay? On Earth is subjective to what we explore, what we experience. What you limit yourself to, where you stop, in that mosquito-infested water with that dead squirrel carcass, or if you rise above and explore more around you. That is your own responsibility. Those are the choices that we have as adults that are intelligent, my friends. Choose wisely, my friends. Choose wisely as always. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Nancy feels that a newspaper, any newspaper, has the obligation to deliberately deal with those things which demand public attention. How do you feel about the controversy?
Basically, the fan behaves the same on Joe's suit. When I first turned the power on, or just prior to that, he's drawing 0.6 amps. It goes off scale high for a few seconds, falls back down to about...
The CBS Evening News with Walter Franklin.
Well, first I jumped to 9.
It was a provoking challenge, and nowhere did the challenge provoke more
averaging a peak, I'd say, of about 0.1 amp.
To develop and introduce America's first all-electronic television system.
Can you
But Mr. Bishop, this sort of thing is going